Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC Fight Night. Rivera versus Moraes, bantamweight clash of the ages. Wow, this fight lived up to the hype as far as I'm concerned. I was in shock and all. The main card was amazing. You had some good prelims on there as well. And so yeah, this is a post-fight rundown of the main card, and let's get started. So the main event was Marlon Moraes versus Jimmy Rivera, bantamweight clash at 135. Two top 5 ranked UFC bantamweights duking it out. Presumably the winner of this fight could face the winner of Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw in the upcoming title fight at UFC 227. And Marlon Moraes won KO head kick and punches 33 seconds into the first round. Pretty exciting fight. I was like, it was funny because I was texting my cousin going, gee, you know, I hope this, I have this as a decision win for Rivera, which I obviously got wrong. But I said, you know, I just hope there's a quick finish here, get this fight over with, because some of the early prelims had a lot of decisions, and it just felt like it was eating up away a lot of time. And and so anyhow, you know, the whole thing is, Marlon Moraes got the job done, 33 seconds, KO win, and I think he deserves a title shot at this point. I mean, you know, Dominic Cruz needs to rack up a win or two before he can really get back in there in the title mix, I think. And he's been out for so long. Marlon Moraes has been active and winning fights in impressive fashion against Aljamain Sterling and Jimmy Rivera, among the many. And so, yeah, you got to give him a title shot at this point. And then in the co-main event, we had Gregor Gillespie versus Vince Pichel. Great fight. Gregor Gillespie lived up to hype. Submission, arm triangle choke, round 2, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Vince was trying to hold his own on the jiu-jitsu. Seemed like the best he could against a guy that's tough like Gregor, but Gregor's wrestling's what was really the big difference maker, and dragged it out to the deep waters and eventually wore out Vince and got the submission win for Gregor. And I think you really need to give Gregor Gillespie like a top 10 lightweight at this point, and then see where he goes. And then I would say 2 or 3 wins, he gets a title shot. And then if he's presumably, obviously, you know, undefeated, and Khabib's undefeated, that'll be a great sell for a pay-per-view. Someone's O has to go, sort of speech. Khabib has many title defenses left to get to that spot, and then Gregor has to keep his O intact. But and also, you know, you have Conor possibly coming back fighting Khabib, and that's obviously the biggest sell right now. And as far as a pay-per-view matchup, but yeah, Gregor Gillespie's definitely. I think he's a future contender at this point. He's really proved it. He's proved his jiu-jitsu skills are great. His striking's not too shabby, and his wrestling's amazing. So yeah, Gregor Gillespie wins submission round 2. Then in the heavyweight division, we had Walt Harris versus Daniel Spitz. TKO punches and elbows round 2. Yeah, 1 second left in round 2 for Walt Harris, and yeah, he rocked him, and then he smelled blood, like you said, and then he went for the finish. And I think it was smart. I had Walt Harris by first round submission. Yeah, I'm putting my fantasy picks here. The ones in green are the ones I got right in terms of who won, and then in green if I got the way they won right, and then the round if I got that right. So I got 8 people right, 5 perfect, and 1 bonus. I did pretty good on my fantasy for this one. And yeah, Walt Harris definitely needed this win to keep himself alive in the heavyweight division. And so it's exciting to see Walt Harris back. He's always a fun to watch fighter. So that was an exciting fight. Then in the welterweight division, we had Ben Saunders versus Jake Ellenberger. And yeah, I knew Ben Saunders could knock out Jake Ellenberger. He did just that. Round one, TKO knee to body and punches. It was, I was thinking Ben Saunders would just use that height advantage and then just work the jab and then land overhand right that would knock out Jake Ellenberger. That's how I had the knockout in mind. I didn't have it knee to the body and then punches. That did kind of shock me somewhat, but not so much that Ben won by knockout. But it's nice to see Ben alive and well in the UFC. He's a great veteran in the UFC. Always fun to watch. Always charismatic. Always has something interesting to say. And yeah, that was a quick first round fight. Then in the featherweight division, you had Julio Arce versus Daniel Tamer. Now this one I was a little bit shocked that it was on the main card because I thought David Tamer would be on the main card. It would be the other way around because David Tamer's on a big win streak in lightweight division, and then you know, Daniel Tamer needs to get a win in the UFC, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. But yeah, Julio Arce did his thing, submission rear naked choke, round 3. There's just over 2 minutes left in the fight, and yeah, like Julio was just outlanding Daniel in this fight, so he would have won by decision anyways. But it was nice to see him get the finish, and I actually hope we see more of Daniel Tamer. I know he's 0-2 in the UFC, but he didn't look too bad. I mean, he got dominated. I would be interested to see him against, give him another featherweight matchup, or maybe have him move to a different weight class. Either one, whatever he feels best, and then just give him one more shot in the UFC. I'm a big fan of the Tamer brothers. So yeah, anyways, congrats to Julio Arce for getting the finish, submission round 3, rear naked choke. Then in the light heavyweight division to kick off the main card, we had Sam Alvey versus Gian Vellante, which this fight just really kind of, I was scratching my head with at first because I was like, well, wait a second, wasn't Sam Alvey like overall winning fights in the middleweight division? So why was he going up to light heavyweight? And let's remember, he was a welterweight on the Ultimate Fighter, so he's gone up 2 weight classes now. And he didn't look too bad in this fight, but I don't think he looked any better than he did at middleweight. I mean, he reacted the same way, he fought the same way. He was a little bit bigger. Maybe you felt like the more power was there. He had more knockout power. And yeah, he won split decision over Gian Vellante, and it was a close fight. I mean, you could have argued Vellante could have won this fight. It really could have gone either way. It's just like the commentators were saying that Sam Alvey, he did a flurry at the end of some of the rounds, and that looked good for the judges, so that probably helped him win the fight. But anyhow, yeah, this fight could have gone either way. Congrats to Sam Alvey for getting this win, and looks like he definitely wants to stay at light heavyweight, and it'll be interesting to see him get this win now. I mean, go on and see after this win, see him continue at light heavyweight, and looks like he wants to fight Corey Anderson now, and that'll be interesting because Sam has pretty decent wrestling and takedown defense, and Corey Anderson, we know him as heavy caliber, heavy wrestler. Like he's a big light heavyweight, and he has great wrestling, so it'll make it a fun, interesting matchup. Anyhow, and again, congrats to David Tamer on the prelims. That was a great fight over Nick Lentz. He put on a striking clinic on Nick Lentz that looked amazing. Anyhow, so that wraps up the post-fight show for this card. Stay tuned in the coming days for my pre-fight of UFC 225, Whitaker versus Romero 2 for the UFC Middleweight Championship of the World. And until then, I will see ya. Oh, hey, and congrats to Cub Swanson on getting married. Best of luck to you and your family. God bless.